Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a collaboration with several amazing women and we are going to be doing the McGrath Magic collaboration. Basically, what we are doing is going through and doing a face of Pat McGrath, and we're going to be talking about our favorites and least favorite products from the brand. So I'm going to be doing as much of a full face as I possibly can because obviously Pat McGrath doesn't have everything as far as complexion goes, but I have a lot here to talk about, and I have some things that I absolutely love and I'm not so fond of. This collaboration includes Kelsee Briana Jai, also known as my best friend. Michele Wang, one of your favorite luxury channels. KinkySweat, you guys have seen her. She's done so many Pat McGrath videos and that girl can bend. I'm just trying to be her. I'm just trying so hard. The beautiful Morgan Turner and Lynn, as well as GlamGirlChelsea. If you guys haven't seen her before, she is so sweet, she could give you a cavity. I'm not even kidding. I'm not joking. One video, that's all it takes, and you will see what I am talking about. This is going to be so much fun because not only are you going to get to see different palettes being used for each individual person, as well as different looks, but there's different skin tones, different skin types, different preferences, different ways of applying makeup, and then we all have things that we either love or just really don't like from Pat McGrath. I think that's so interesting to be able to see so many different perspectives on the brand. You know, some things that I really enjoy, others don't, and then some things that others enjoy, I don't. Please make sure that you check out all of them. I will leave them all linked down below. Let's go ahead and move on to this full face look, and the main star of the show is the Divine Rose. All right, you guys, let's jump into it. First things first, I have my brows done and my eyes are already primed. Neither one of those come from Pat McGrath. However, complexion wise, I could have gone in with her primer, which is one of my least favorite products from her, but I decluttered it. So I'm going to put a picture of it right here. I just found this product to be extremely mediocre, and it is $60. It's called the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer, and not only is the product inside mediocre, but the packaging, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. It's like this construction paper on the outside and it peels off. It's very cheaply made on the outside in comparison, especially to her foundation, which is so luxe. So this is just not even in my collection anymore. I do, however, have on one of my favorites, and it's the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. So that's what we're going to start off with as a base, and now I want to go in and cover up a little bit of my sun damage. Again, Pat just doesn't have a full range quite yet. I'm looking forward to her having a full range, but she's just not there yet. Oh, I can't get this open. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. There we go. This is the Vanish Corrector, and I use the shade number 2. Milk Makeup and Sephora collaboration. This is the concealer brush. I'm just going to tap right over my dark spots right here. I'm going to put a little bit around my mouth. And a little right on the inner corner on my eyes. Now we are ready for foundation, and I'm shaking this up really well. It is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation, and the shade that I have is Light Medium 10. See, the packaging on this is just so beautiful. It's very heavy. It's glass. It's like a frosted glass. It's beautiful, and you have a cap and a pump. I love the packaging on this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this. It's not bad. I like it more now than what I originally did, but I think it's because I use different primers under it, and I also prefer to use different powders. But I'm going to use the Pat McGrath powder today. I find that if I use this with like my normal things underneath that are a little bit more hydrating, and with my favorite powders, I like it better. I do like it better, but I don't like it as much as like my Luminous Silk. So this product is just kind of, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not amazing. I know a lot of people love this. This looks so good on Kelsee. Oh, it looks so good on her. Not only, like, I know you guys see her on camera, but I've seen her in person with this on, and it looks so, so good. I like the light coverage that this gives. It's not heavy on my skin. I would say it's a light medium. I do not have Pat's concealer and powder for underneath the eyes. The reason why I didn't get that was because I mentioned that I wanted to look at ingredients. Now, this foundation contains alcohol. There's so many foundations that I have in my collection that I realize contain alcohol. And some alcohols are good, some alcohols are bad. But just generally speaking, it's something that I'm trying to do a little bit better about. Some of my favorite ones, like my Dior Face and Body, oh, it's so good, but I don't want to use them every single day. I don't want to dry out my skin, and I feel like my skin is changing a little bit. Things that used to work for me don't work as well now. You know, I'm about to be 34. I know that the concealer has alcohol in it, and I decided that because this concealer had alcohol in it and because the powder, which I believe would have worked out really well, it has Z-Maze cornstarch in it. That breaks me out. And it's funny because almost every powder that has that in there works so well for blurring. Every powder I know of that has that ingredient actually looks really great on my skin, but it ends up breaking me out. So it just wasn't worth it. I didn't want to purchase it and then never use it again. And in case anybody is wondering, I used the shade number 5 in my Armani Power Fabric Concealer. Huda Beauty baking powder in Pound Cake. See, even this I'm trying to be a little better about, and not really baking as much as just pressing the powder into my skin. Other than whenever I go and do my, I have to back talk. Other than whenever I go and I do my eyes, I like to put powder to catch anything. So I guess I'm still baking. But if I wasn't on camera, I would have done my eyes first, and this is how I would have done my powder. Around my mouth, and then I'm going to use the Pat McGrath powder for the rest of my face. This is shade light medium 2, and before I go in with the powder, I'm going to take this little muslin cloth that's not really white anymore, and I'm going to put it on my shirt to make sure I don't get anything on my shirt. I'm actually going to go ahead and just slide this on up too, so we can just cover all the white. All right, light medium 2, and the Pat McGrath powder brush. I know you guys are thinking I am just dogging on Pat right now. I'm trying not to. I promise we're going to get to the good stuff. But this is where I think it goes wrong for me. I don't like the combination of the powder and the foundation. I can get the foundation to work for me, but the combination of this powder and the foundation is just a little drying on me. So I'm not going to use too much of this. I find that if I use my Chanel powder, my By Terry powder, my La Mer powder, like basically any other powder, I don't feel as dry when I'm wearing this foundation, and especially when I'm wearing a different primer. Like today, the Silk Canvas is definitely going to help. Even though it's not as hydrating as some of my other ones, it's still like a smoothing and it feels like hydrating. I don't know, it's really, really nice. But this brush, definitely not worth it. This brush is one of the most terrible things from Pat, if you ask me. Like, I can see how, you know, the powder would work for some people, especially if you're oily, and I can see how the foundation would be really nice for some people, but the brushes are not worth the price. They just really aren't. If you want some really amazing synthetic hair brushes, BK Beauty, that is where it's at. My favorite when it comes to synthetic brushes. Okay, I just wiped off the little bit of foundation that I got on my lips. Now I'm going to put on a balm. I'm going to be using the clear one, and this is the one from Star Wars. I just had to have this packaging. Look, it's got the little red dot. I love it. I love it so much. But this is just the clear. I am going to put this on. I have to have something on my lips while I'm getting ready. My love for the Pat McGrath Balms is unreal. This one right here is the one I carry around with me. It's like always in my purse. I have to have a balm, and this one is tinted. Look at this. This is not even the first one that I've used. This is all the way rolled up. So it's probably time to restock, and this is in the shade Blow Up. Let me show you a little swatch on my hand. It has this like peachy tint to it. I love it. I love it so much. I was almost all the way through. I was like the same, like all the way down like this, and I left one at a restaurant, but this is the second one. And yeah, I think after this video, it's time to get another one. Now it's time for the product that is going to steal the show. One of my absolute loves. This is one of my favorite Pat McGrath palettes, the Divine Rose. And as you guys know, as I told you anyway, each of us are doing a different palette, a look with a different palette, and I chose this one. It was either this one or the number 5, Bronze Seduction. I think I've done several looks with the Bronze Seduction. I know I've done at least a couple with this one, but I was feeling this kind of vibe today. So I'm going to zoom you guys in. I'm going to bake underneath my eyes so that I can catch any type of fallout. And we're just going to, I don't even know where I'm going with this today. I'm just going to feel it out. Starting off with the Refer 15 in this shade right here. Tapping this on the outer corner. And then I'm going to slowly work it into the crease before blending it upward. This is just one dip into the product. This is one of the things that I love about Pat McGrath shadows in general. They're just so good. So pigmented, so blendable. Love them. Wayne Goss number 19 in this color. I'm going to start off by taking this into my crease. I want to add a little bit of a sheen there. And I'll also blend it out on the outer corner. Small circular motions to buff it upward. Same brush, grabbing the brown, deepening up this outer corner. Sonia G, Worker 3 in this beautiful special shade. I'm using this brush specifically because I do not want this to be overly intense on the eye. I'm going to buff it out, tap it over the darker colors, and kind of work it slightly upward because I want more of a wash than a really intense sparkle on the lid. But if you wanted to, you could totally go ham and pack this on. I'm taking Supernatural, which is actually a lip liner. So don't do this unless you want to. Don't listen to me. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I have no idea if this is okay for the eyes. So I'm doing it because I don't traditionally have any issues with this, but I don't want to be responsible if you do. You know, that kind of situation. So yeah, do it if you want to, but not because I'm doing it. But I'm taking this right on the outer 3/4 of the lash line because I do not have her liquid liner. Something I've actually wanted to try, but I just haven't tried it yet. I'm going to go in with this shade on a Refer number 3 for my lower lash line. And lastly, this shade on a Sonia G Flat Definer. Popping that right on the inner corner. I fibbed a little bit. I'm going to go in with that Supernatural liner right up against my lash line. And then I'm going to go add on mascara, which will be from Pat McGrath. I added on Milk Boss liner, and now I'm going in with the Pat McGrath mascara. And this is a deluxe size because if you watched my recent favorite mascaras, I talked about I have so many of these deluxe sizes because I love this mascara. However, it dries up on me in 3 weeks, which makes it not worth it, but it's like my guilty pleasure. I'm just going to keep building and building and building on this, going back and forth, and you'll see just how voluminous my lashes get. Now, Auntie Pat does not have blush or bronzer, so I'm going to make do with other products. She does have a highlight, though, and I will get into that. First off, I'm going to go in with my Jouer Duo in Sunlight and Suntan, Sonia G Face Pro, and I'm just going to mix the 2 shades. I'm going to go in with the lightest shade on my Tom Ford number 11, and I'm going to contour my nose. Do you guys know that bronzer was the most intimidating thing to me when I first started makeup? It's like I wouldn't even pick one up. I would go to the store, I would see them, and I'm like, I know people use these, but I don't know how to use it. So it was so long before I ever really got into bronzer because I didn't understand. I was like, what do you do with this? I don't understand. What's a bronzer? And if we're being technical, you shouldn't use a bronzer really to contour your nose. But I just don't like for my nose to get lost. And I like it to be the same color as I have on the rest of my face. So I just take this and then I will soften it up with a brush that has nothing on it. Like this one from BK Beauty. What number are you? You are number 108. I'm going to go in with another brush from Pat McGrath. This one is better than the first one. I think this is a foundation brush. It is much softer than the original one that I used, but it's still not worth the money. Like a Milani brush, anything is same quality and way cheaper. This brush is like $58 or something like that. But I didn't want to use it to put on my foundation because I knew I needed that extra hydration. That's why I wanted to use the sponge. So I'm going to whoops, sorry. I'm going to use this brush to put on my blush. And I'm going to go in with the NARS Overlust and this shade right here. Actually, I'm going to do a little mixeroo. I'm going to take this shade and this shade. And I'm going to use a stamping motion. A product I really do like is the Sublime Skin Highlighting Trio. Linda Hallberg 306. I'm going to grab the first shade. This one has more of like that pink shift to it. Can you guys see that? So pretty. Back in with my blush brush and just going right around the edges to merge them together. I am going to take a little bit of this, not quite as much as I put on my cheekbones. I'm going to just take a little bit of this and I'm going to put it on my forehead and my chin. Not going to put this on my nose. Before I go in and buff, I'm going to go in with my La Mer Mist. I'm going to put it on the bottom of my sponge. I'm going to tap this all over. Codindo Brightening Moisture Powder on my face one from Sonia G. Buff this on my forehead. Buff everything out. As well as around my blush bronzer on my nose. I do want to add a little bit of highlight to my nose, so I'm going to go back into my Divine Rose. That rhymed. Anywho, I'm going to grab this shade right here on my Linda Hallberg 306. I'm not grabbing a lot, and I'm just going to pop that on my nose. For my lips, I'm going to be doing the most, just FYI. I'm going to start off with Buff from Pat McGrath to outline my lips. And then I'm going to go in with my liner in Kitten with my collaboration with Christian AUDETTE to fill in my lips. Right on top of that, I'm going to put on number 406 Valletta. This is a Luxe Trance lipstick from Pat McGrath. I love this formula. And then lastly, we're going to top that off with a Lust Gloss in Prima Donna, which happens to be my favorite color from the line. And there it is, you guys. This is the finished look. Too bad I'm not going anywhere today because I love how this came out, but at least I got to share it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed finding out what are some of my favorite products from the brand, as well as some things that I'm just not as fond of. I have to say, if I was going to pick one item from the brand that is just kills everything else, it's going to be the eyeshadow palettes. Everybody knows that, but I love the glosses. I love the lipsticks. I really love the highlight. I would love to see her do more of those. But anywho, please make sure you guys check out all of the other ladies. I am so glad that they asked me to join in on this collaboration. I thought it was such a good idea. I loved picking up things from my collection that I already have and getting to use some of my favorite products as well. Let me know down below, what is one of your favorite Pat McGrath products, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.